Hi guys, my name is Felix from examconnect.com and welcome to another class in physics, Introduction to Physics. We previously looked at Introduction to Physics and we saw the different categories of physics. The first group was about motion, forces and energy. We tackled about the motion where we introduced the three equations of motions. And today I just want, before I continue with other topics under Introduction of Physics, let me first recap the first equations of motions. This was the first one was about V is equals to U plus AT. The second one was about V squared is equals to U squared plus 2AS. And the third one was about S is equals to UT plus a half AT squared. So apart from that, remember that we said that these are motions in one dimension, also known as linear motions. However, we can have motions in two dimensions. For example, if you throw a ball up, if you have a ball that is thrown up, we know that from basic physics is that the ball will rise up. So that will be a vertical motion followed by the ball falling down. That's another motion. So it's sort of an up, down motion, up, straight, down. There we have two-dimensional motion. So when you look at this ball, definitely we know that the ball will move at a certain projectile until it hits the ground again. So what we are concerned in physics, maybe we might want to know how far has the ball gone, the displacement of the ball, and maybe how high did the ball move before hitting the ground. And we are going to measure all these aspects in motion. So when you talk of, maybe for the still on the same case of the ball, we can look at the ball in details, where we have the ball having that kind of a motion at a degree, maybe theta. Theta is our degree that the ball had been thrown up. So we have the theta being the motion, the angle at which the ball had moved up. So if you want to calculate some factors like velocity, initial velocity, final velocity, acceleration, we divide this motion into two parts. We have the upward motion, so we have the vertical displacement, and then we divide the other part of the motion as horizontal displacement. Then we can now, at the end, sum up so that we can now get how did the ball move by looking at the vertical displacement and also the horizontal displacement. But more of that is under vectors, which is data also a part of physics, but not in our subject. So that's the second type of motion. This is motion in 2D, where we have the ball moving up, that is vertically and also horizontally, vertically and horizontally. So that is, all this is under vectors. Now we go to the second part, which is forces. That was just a basic recap. We go to forces. Still under introduction in physics, we have forces. Now you know what is a force? A force is defined as a push or a pull. When you pull or push something, you are applying force into that body. And maybe under this, we need to look at things like effects. What are the effects of forces? When you have a stationary ball, you kick the ball. What happens to the ball? The ball moves straight. So that is an effect, that the ball was stationary, now it has started moving. That force can cause motion. We also have force can stop motion, because when you are moving in a fast track, maybe you have a very fast track that is moving on a highway, then it hits a tree. The hitting of the tree causes the track to stop. So stopping or becoming stationary can also be another factor. That force causes motion bodies to become stationary bodies. It can also produce a change in direction. We also have changes in direction. When a ball was moving to your left, then you hit it a bit, it moves to your right. You can change the direction by using force. So these are effects of forces. There are so many. It can also cause unnecessary energy. Force can also cause unnecessary energy, because when you look at maybe you're walking next to a wall and by accident you push the wall can hit you until it causes some unnecessary energy onto your body. So those are some effects of forces. Next, we look at types of forces. We have so many types of forces. When you look at types of forces, we are talking of gravity force. It's a very interesting type of a force. Now, somebody by the name Isaac Newton discovered that when a body is next to another body, maybe two balls, this one is having a mass 1 and another one is having a mass 2. And the distance between them, maybe we call it R. These two bodies are experiencing a force that we can call F. And there is a formula of calculating F, given by F is equals to Rm1 M2 divided by G, the gravity that is between them. So these are some of the equations that are under the topic gravity. Remember that gravity is a type of a force. We also have other types of forces that are, for example, we have cohesive forces. We also have friction force. Friction force is very advantageous because it enables us even to write on a whiteboard. It can enable us to walk, and it enables us even to do various things. However, friction can also be a disadvantage. When you look at friction, there are some disadvantages. This is under the types of forces. Friction has some disadvantages as much as it has some advantages. It also has some disadvantages. For example, it causes unnecessary wear and tear. It causes unnecessary wear and tear. It also causes unnecessary heat, and this ends up damaging the machine. So friction is a type of a force. We also have cohesive and adhesive, as I have said, and they enable the formation of liquids. How do the liquids interact with containers? You notice that the way water is placed inside a container is different from the way mercury forms in the container. So the formation of these two substances, this is water and this is Hg, standing for mercury. The way the liquid interacts with the container is different in both cases. This is because of cohesion and adhesion forces. These are examples of forces. I think with that, we can sum up the second part of Introduction to Physics, which is known as forces. Remember that it is a wide topic. We are just looking at the basics. When we talk of the push or the pull, how does the push or the pull affect? That's what we call effects of forces. What are the types of these pushes and pulls? These are the types of forces. We're talking of gravity, we have talked of cohesion and adhesion, and so much more. I think with that, we can wind up that part.